Well, how about that? Project Game Day post-game show. Hope you all have had a wonderful Christmas if you're celebrating. And if you're not celebrating that, you're probably celebrating a heck of a performance from the Baltimore Ravens this evening. It is Project Game Day. I am Glenn. Andrew Stetka is here. KZ is checking in as well from parts unknown. I'm not exactly sure. Carson, please go ahead and make me a co-host if you don't mind of the meeting, so we can get things going. Ravens will hold on, and they will now have the best record in the NFL after they go to San Francisco as big dogs and they come away victorious. The Project Game Day post-game show is brought to you by Superbook Sports, AJ Michaels, and HelpMyGamblingProblem.org. Remember that if you or a loved one has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org for free confidential services. Rita is in San Francisco. She'll check in with us here in a bit, and Femi will check in with us. I believe he's had a bit of a day, but I believe he's going to be able to join us here in a bit as well. All right, let's start. Andrew Stecker, I don't know. I didn't see what happened. Did Odell Beckham do something to help you hit your parlay, or?
Oh no, I was actually doing the LeBron smiling through it all. Can't believe this is
Oh,
my
can't
life
believe this is my life. It's
because
been that type of day.
that's where we are at this point with this team. Like,
What?
holy smokes, Glenn. Like, what a win. This
Uh,
is huge.
it's fantastic. I think that even those of us that thought that it was stunning that the Ravens were significant dogs this week, I don't think any of us expected the Ravens to go in and soundly defeat the 49ers on the road. I think there's an awful lot to like. Obviously, the Kyle Hamilton thing looms over all of it, and we will see what kind of update we have. But Andrew, I'll let you start. Oh, Stan Charles has joined us. It's a Christmas miracle. Stan the Fan Charles is with us. Wow, how about that? We'll get to Stan in a minute too. Andrew, I'll let you go first. Just your big picture besides this is fun, this is awesome, this is cool, which all of it is, big picture about how it happened tonight.
I mean, how it happened was just a team was better on the day than the other team. And I know that sounds simplistic, but like these are two very, very good teams, and one of them came out and whooped the other one's ass tonight. Like there's no other way around it. I know we talked last week about how kind of little this game meant in the grand scheme, but how also it did mean something. Like it was hyped up all week in the national media. We all kind of knew that this would be a benchmark game. At the same time, I go as a Ravens fan, I think this is awesome. What a great Christmas present, but also next week is what really matters because
Yep.
we still want this team to be able to lock down the first round bye. And I'm just grateful that the Ravens didn't go into this game with that mindset because they obviously went into this game with the mindset of no, we have something to prove. We are, like you said, a 5.5, 6 point underdog in this game, and we think that that's disrespectful. And they kind of played like it. Like the defense absolutely balled out in this game. And
Swarmed.
while the offense was not maybe quite up to snuff as what we might want, they didn't need to be. And they controlled this game from the outset, which was beautiful. And I don't know, man. I'm just it's a wonderful gift. It's a wonderful gift on this holiday, and like I'm all ready for the Dolphins next week. Like I have no real complaints, even after the last few weeks, which have been full of complaints for me. Like this was fun to watch.
By the way, Troy Johnson, our buddy, is losing his mind. I'm gonna go. I might pull him in for a second here as we got a full screen. Stan's in for the first time. So before I go out to KZ or Rita, who's in San Francisco, I'm going to Stan Charles. Stan, the fan, the legend himself, is with us for the first time all season. Stan, your reaction to what you saw tonight?
Well, Glenn, you and I have talked sports enough that, I'm not one of those guys that believes that bulletin board stuff really works. But I'll tell you, I think this Ravens defense, more than anything else, I think they were really fired up by being underestimated by the national betting public. And it really ticked them off. And I really think they took their game faces out to San Francisco and played an extraordinary game tonight. No question, we'll get into talking about how Lamar and the offense did, and they did just fine. But I think the defense really was just like on another level tonight.
KZ, first thoughts from you tonight, and we can't let you have because Femi will start yelling at you if you go on the diatribe that you usually go on.
There's no diatribe at all. That's as dominating a performance on the road as I've seen from this Ravens team. And the 49ers are really, really good. And, we talked tongue in cheek a little bit, but, sign where I wanted them to re-sign McDonald as the coach in waiting at halftime. And so he'll never leave town because what he dialed up today and where they were flying all over the place was just, it was great. I mean, the whole, disrespect over being an underdog. I mean, you're going cross country on the road against another team that's 11-3. I didn't get the whole disrespect thing all week. And if you wanted to play that card, you played that card. And if that's what helped motivate, that's what helped motivate. But that was on both sides of the ball as dominating a performance as I can remember in a while against a team of that caliber. And I still think the 49ers are going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. So I hopefully it was a preview game of that. But there's nothing that if you're coming out of this game with anything like Andrew said, that we've kind of picked upon the last couple of weeks, even in the wins, I don't know what you're watching because that was almost perfect.
Rita
Hey,
is in.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
jump? Can
Yeah,
I jump in?
real quick,
My
real quick,
first time
Stan.
doing
Yeah.
this, so I don't know whether I'm able to do that or not. But KZ, it's really funny. If you fast forward, let's just say the Ravens had lost tonight by 10 or 12 points, and they were playing San Francisco in the Super Bowl, we'd be saying, boy, we got no chance to beat the 49ers. They kicked our butt. I'm wondering if some part of us inside is saying, boy, if San Francisco gets us, they've got, in a weird way, the upper hand because we kicked their ass so bad tonight.
Let's hope that's a
Fully
problem.
disagreeing.
Yeah, let's hope that's a problem we
take
got to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
I'll take if we want to forego everything else, Stan, and put that in right now. I'm good for it.
All right, Femi.
I
Hey,
think this.
Man,
I think we
no,
got.
no,
We did
no, 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 no. Let me get in. Let me get in here. You guys are killing the vibe. You guys are killing the vibe right now.
that's our Super Bowl champion.
I'm a former player. Let me tell you what I think. We don't give a shit about what happened today and no upper hand. That's like people talk about on the outside. On the inside, we take it one game at a time, and the whole country, every single person I talked to doubted the Ravens tonight. What did I tell you, Glenn? I said, in this situation, we thrive. We love being doubted. We love being underestimated. I'm from the Bay Area. I grew up a Niners fan. I'm from Santa Cruz, California, and I know all about the Niners organization and who they are. But I'm a Raven. I bleed purple. I don't bleed red and black. I bleed purple and black. And the funny thing is, I know how all this works. And I'm telling you right now, this fucking game does not matter next week. It does not matter a month from now. It's irrelevant because the guys that are going to be playing on this field, some guys might be hurt, some guys might not be available. That's stuff for the people on the outside to talk about. This was an amazing performance on both sides of the ball. The defense, man, they bended early, but they did not break. And they made all the plays they needed to play, all the plays they needed to make when they needed to make them. Lamar Jackson showed. Brock Purdy, are you serious? You want to compare Lamar to Brock? What are you drinking? It's not even close. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, this game means nothing now. It's over. This was a treat. This was a gift. This was one opportunity. It didn't matter to me if they lost. Because if they lose next week, this game does not matter. And I'm telling you, as a guy who's been in that locker room as a former Raven, I'm a bridge between Coach Harbaugh and Coach Billick. I was an intern with Coach Harbaugh. My brother played 5 years with Coach Harbaugh. I played 6 years or 7 years with Coach Billick in Minnesota and Baltimore. I'm telling you right now, who we are as a team and what we're built on is not on our previous game. That's irrelevant. I guarantee you, as Ravens, we're dogs. We always want to show up and show out, and we love it when they underestimate us. We love it. We thrive in these environments. So I just want to say kudos.
Yeah.
Amazing performance. There's nothing to talk about. And all this talking about this and that and this and this, it's Christmas. Let's just enjoy the win. And I get what you guys are saying, but yeah.
Yeah, let me go to Reeta because Reeta is in Santa Clara. She is at the game and she is vibing. She was having some fun on Twitter tonight, calling some people out. Reeta, what's the vibes like there?
I was just giving Tyus's mom a hug.
Oh,
I was trying to
oh,
point y'all to her, but I don't think y'all saw me. But anyway, they're quiet out here. They're very quiet. You know, when we came here earlier, everybody was Niners and doing all things, and now it's just very, very quiet. I'm enjoying the quietness. Very quaint. It's very good. I'm enjoying my evening. I've had a great Christmas, guys. So, look, the way that today's games looked in general, I kind of had a feeling that this was going to happen because everybody that was an underdog covered. Everybody. The Raiders beat the Chiefs. The Giants covered against the Eagles. And I was just kind of like, you know, the Ravens are next in line in this game. So I was like, I just felt good about that. I know y'all want to talk X's and O's. I absolutely thought that the Ravens matched up well against the 49ers. But once I saw the first two games go the way that they did, I said, there's no way the Ravens is going to screw this up, right? In terms of covering the spread. So I feel really good about what happened. I get to go home on the plane and get to wear my purple with pride. Got a lot of compliments about my Teddy coat, by the way, because absolutely I'm representing out here for the Ravens. So listen, this was a great night. It was a fabulous night. Yes, I did make some shots. I took some shots at Brock Purdy because they early in the game, they was in here chanting MVP. And then that first pick happened with Kyle, and they stopped the MVP chants shortly thereafter. And then, as we know, he threw 3 more picks. So,
hey, Reeta, we know who the MVP is, right? We know who the MVP is, right?
Absolutely. And so I went on Twitter and I said, "Oh, the MVP threw 4 picks," and so people kept saying, "No, the MVP, Lamar Jackson, didn't throw anything." So we talked about this. I feel if Lamar came out of here with a W, he was going to win the MVP or should win the MVP. And as far as I'm concerned, what we're going to try to do is cherry pick this with statistics. And I don't like that logic because what Lamar does and what he brings to the table cannot necessarily be put in stats. It's just he makes plays. He knows how to make plays. He knows how to, that scramble at the end of the first half, before the end of the first half. That who can stop that?
Yeah, it's 1-1.
And I just feel like he's 1-1. He's 1-1. And so I'm just glad now that we can have a real conversation about Lamar being the MVP of the National Football League, because I absolutely feel like he deserves it. And if anybody saw Cam Newton's out there with his eyeballs on Twitter, because he said about Brock Purdy, and it appears that so far, he comes out right when it comes to game managers versus game changers. So
game changer, and there's no question that's exactly what Lamar is. Femi, let me come back to you for a second because there's a couple points and I wanted to get everybody. Oh, and Josh is here. Josh Charles is here with us. Look at it. We got the entire Charles family has joined us tonight for Project Game Day, which I love. That's a great thing. I wanted to come to you for 2 things. The first one, we talked about it a little bit last week, but Marlon Humphrey took some lumps this season. He got beat up a little bit because he wasn't having the best season of his career. Last week, I started to notice it looked like he was stepping his game up tonight. And I know that, he didn't finish the tackle on Deebo Samuel where he had the hit and it looked like he was going to wrap him up in the backfield. But save for that, I thought Marlon Humphrey was one of the best players on the field tonight.
Listen, Marlon is really good in the slot. And I give credit to Coach McDonald and just the scheme. The scheme tonight was immaculate. They played zone when they needed to. They mixed a little man in. They ran their Vogue defense where they showed a lot of pressure. They dropped out. They brought pressure. And then when they smelled blood, man, they went for the kill. And I'm just so proud of what these guys did tonight, just as a team in general, just from top to bottom. And let me say this about Lamar. There's a lot of times, and I know that's not your question, but I just got to get this point out because I've been observing this all season. Lamar's been playing as a runner at about 80%. And tonight it just hit me like a brick in the head. like we're watching the game from the TV. He's watching the game from the pocket. Like there's things that he sees that I don't see. And I know that. And when I go back and I watch, it makes sense when he runs and when he doesn't run. He buys time. And tonight, his buying time, the throw to Gus that ended up being a 40-yard throw, the touchdown, the Zay Flowers first down. Like if he's old Lamar, he takes off. He probably gets a first down, but he doesn't get those chunk plays. And it's amazing to me. It's calculated. It's on purpose. He's doing this because he knows that in the long run, to get to where they want to get to, that he needs to be patient in the pocket. And he can take off all day and it'll be pretty. He'll have amazing statistics. He may even have more rushing touchdowns. But for the Ravens to win a Super Bowl, he needs to do exactly what he's doing. And it was so evident to me tonight. It was so poignant. It just hit me in the head. And I was like, damn, I was judging Lamar on occasion on these third down and short, medium plays where he can get the first down. But if we were to look back and say he went and ran, how many touchdowns has he thrown? How many chunk plays has he gotten as a result of his patience? But when he needs to, he can break off 30 plus as he did tonight. The dude is on another level. And Reeta said it. I think Stan even said it. I think everybody's probably said it on this call. Stan, I'm not sure if you said it. Maybe it was someone. Maybe it was KZ. Lamar's statistics do not show up in the box score. And if you don't watch the game, we're going to know. If you want to talk critical about Lamar Jackson and you don't watch the game, we're going to know because no one does what this man does. It is off the chart for me. I'm going to stop right there.
No, what you talked about, though, that sequence of plays, because it's still it's hard to think about this because of how lopsided it got, but it's a 4-point game at halftime with the 49ers getting the ball, right? Like there's actually maybe a little bit of disappointment that the Ravens didn't score a touchdown on that final possession after Lamar got that huge chunk run to set him up down at the 10-yard line. So it's a 4-point play. They get a quick 3 and out. And then what that play and what you talk about, yes, he's going to get the passing yards because it was a pass to Gus Edwards. But all of that is created by Lamar Jackson keeping that play alive. Everything about that. Then the design from Todd Monken on the touchdown pass to Zay Flowers, which I thought, that was the next possession, whether they got the interception on the first play. That, and I apologize, I got to get rid of that. There, it's gone. I got to apologize. I thought the design on that was one of the best designs that we've seen from Todd Monken on a play all season.
Well, they ran the same play with Isaiah Likely last week, though. You know what I mean? But it was different personnel. The touchdown. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So go back and look at it. Yeah, it's
okay.
So you can run the same play with different personnel, and it looks totally different. And all you got to do is add motion to it. Start the receiver on the other side of the ball. Motion. I'm not saying that's what they did tonight. I'm just saying that it was a similar play with different personnel. Instead of Isaiah Likely running that kind of in route, it was Zay. So I don't remember the exact guys that were on the field, but it was a similar concept that they ran, and it worked.
Man, it is so freaking smart. All right, let's get to Josh. We haven't come to you at all, so I'm going to you. You don't want in, Josh? You don't want in? You just want to hang out? Oh, we got to get you unmuted somehow. You got to unmute yourself, man. Josh.
No, I'm good. I just need a minute. I want to soak this in. This Christmas, just fantastic moment. I want to soak it in and listen. I just want to listen for a little bit. I got to soak in the energy. That's it. I just want to listen for a little bit,
right,
but I'll jump in a little bit.
Hey, Glenn, Josh has been talking to me all game, so I know he has thoughts. So look at him. See him. I told on him. So he's been okay. No. I'm not going to call him out.
Well, let me say.
On.
All right, I'll say this, and then I'll be quiet. I agree. I was looking today because I'm a freak, and my son has COVID, so we're kind of trapped in the house over Christmas. So I'm just sitting here looking forward to this game today, going through the playoff simulators. Well, what if we lose? What if we win? Who if Cleveland? This, that, all the different things. I'm going on like a crazy fan, and I realized, like what Femi was saying, it really doesn't matter. Like we have to win next week, right? That is huge. I mean, today gave us a nice cushion, though, that we could, I guess, theoretically lose next week, but win the following week, depending on some other things that happen. But it really doesn't matter. But for me, just like this team this year, like to go on the road Christmas and do that with the team that everybody's saying is the elite team in the league. And except for the end there where they made it a little close, made us sweat a little bit, it was pretty much a beatdown, So I am so proud of the team. I'm proud to be a Ravens fan. It's an amazing Christmas, and it doesn't mean shit starting next week. Sorry, I know I'm not supposed to curse.
No,
But the other thing I'll say is, Glenn, do you know the expression EAD? You know what EAD
yeah, I'm
means, right?
certainly aware of it. Yes.
Okay, so Mike Florio, he can EAD
Yes.
from
Yeah, Mike
Dundalk.
Florio.
EA double D.
Yeah.
He can EA double D.
Yeah.
Okay, you feel me, Rita? You know what I'm talking about. I'm muting myself
Josh,
now.
I like to use the words. I feel you. You know, I like to use the words. And technically, I can't really say that to him because I'd be on Brother from Another, which is because Brother from Another is an NBC
The
affiliate.
co-workers on the Peacock Network.
We're low-key
Oh, you are. I'm
co-workers.
Can I
sorry.
say it?
I'm sorry.
Can I say it? Can I say it?
But yes, please.
Mike Florio, eat a dick.
That worked
Yes,
up.
thank you.
Wait a second, Rita. The video that you sent of the Niners fan with the Ravens pinata. What was that? Was that I couldn't tell what that was.
Okay, I think he had some denim Daisy. I think he had denim Daisy Dukes on the pinata. That the guy, but he was enjoying it too much, and I was just like, "Wow, you're really dancing with this. Like you're enjoying it. I think you like Lamar as much as more not to admit." So that was a very weird. That's why I get a video. He was really into it, and I was just like,
No, it was
okay,
weird.
well,
It didn't seem
I think
even
that
like a
Lamar
diss.
had
It seemed
denim.
I want to. Oh, we lost Rita there. I want to go around. I'm gonna call everybody. I want everybody to go back because Josh touched on something, and I tweeted something about this because I didn't know at the time how the game was going to play out. But at 5-0, after the disaster that was the Lamar play, right? And some of that we can say is on, it's the official whatever. We can talk about that some other day. Thankfully, it's irrelevant. But in the moment, I think there was a nervous energy for everyone at that moment. And this might seriously go the wrong way. I was prepared to send the tweet out, hey, don't forget, this one probably won't end up mattering all that much when it comes to final standings. The fact that they responded as quickly and didn't wither in that moment. We talk about things that don't show up in statistics, right? You can't define that with any sort of stat. But that, and I'm not trying to call out Ken, but I'm going to direct this to Ken. To me, this is the unspoken part of what we debate about when it comes to John Harbaugh. And the things that drive you crazy that we've all agreed during the course of the season, we understand, right? Like we all get frustrated by, although even the challenge tonight, I think we all agree was just a timeout they were going to take anyway. So, why the hell not? They were never going to win the challenge, but I understood.
No, it was fine. Yeah.
I understood the decision because you were going to take a timeout anyway because they had a little bit of rhythm going. But that, to me, is the defining thing that I try to explain about why, as frustrated as we all can get about certain decisions and certain coaching moments, that thing, when everything looked like it was going to go the wrong way, it sure as F didn't. And Ken, I'll let you respond first because I am calling you out a little bit.
I have never, ever said that he does not prepare his team to play and that they don't play hard for him. Have I ever said that?
No, but I don't think you give him credit in these moments.
And I don't want that. Why do you do this every week to me? All I said was positive rainbows and puppies so far today.
But I want you.
But KZ, you want to replace him though. You want to replace him.
No. But what? Come on,
you
Femi.
said that.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that tonight. Let's not do that.
It's tonight. Christmas, KZ.
Okay?
We have to. We're a family.
I look. My problem with him has always been his in-game decision making when it comes to timeouts and whether to kick the field goal, whether to go for it. He was perfect tonight, and I never, even at 5-0, I was very calm about it because at the time, even in that kooky play, Lamar was going to escape there if the referee doesn't trip him. Okay, he was coming around. I mean, the only person that stopped Lamar tonight was the referee. Other than that, they didn't touch him at all. So I don't. Let's not do that.
Wait. But you're still not giving. To me, again, I think this is a specific thing.
No, I've never said that his team ever quits on him or they're not prepared on game day.
But there's a difference.
Glenn, are you saying? Wait, Glenn.
Yeah.
Are you? Yeah, we're talking around each other right now. I think I hear what KZ is saying, and I hear what you're saying, Glenn.
Yeah.
KZ has a problem in game management,
and I understand all that. I just don't think he gives him credit for it. I think this is the thing that I miss.
But the thing is, I think just for a moment, just give me let's not argue like the semantics right now, because I think KZ is defending himself in the right way, and I think you're asking him a fair question, because earlier in the year he did say that he would like to see another head coach. He did say that. KZ did say that.
I did say that. I did say that.
But not lately. You haven't said that. And your biggest issue,
and you won't hear me say it again.
And your biggest issue is his in-game management, not how he teaches, not how he coaches, not how he interacts with. And guess what? 99% of it is all the things that you don't know about, KZ. And the thing is, what you do know about is his game management, and I understand that. But this is why he's a Hall of Famer. This is why I tell you he's not going to get fired. He shouldn't get fired. And there's no one that's going to do a better job than he's doing, because of how the players react and respond to him, which is at 5-0. I had zero concern at 5-0. Me, as a former player, a player that didn't play for him, but my brother did play for him. And as I said, I was an intern for him. Mm-hmm. So I'm telling you right now that if we are just honest, this man is going to leave probably on his terms. So we know how quick the wind can change. But right now, the wind is blowing at his back, and it's 100% good, right? I want to hear what Stan has to say, because Stan's been around for a real long time. Can we hear what Stan has to say? Stan, I haven't talked to you in forever. I just want to hear your point, brother.
You got to unmute yourself.
You're muted.
Stan.
You're muted, Stan.
Stan, you got to unmute yourself. You got to hit that unmute button, please. Oh, we'll try it. There we go.
Casey and I are like brothers from the same.
Definitely. I was going to give you a chance to correct his mistakes. I want to see if you get it right.
No, I think he said basically what I'm saying. I've never questioned. I'd say that 70% of coaching is having your team show up every day, every Sunday. And John Harbaugh is no question. He's one of the best at that. My problem is exactly like KZ's problem. It's when it comes down to making a decision, whether he should go right or go left, or go north or go south. He seems to always, in my opinion, make the wrong call. But he's having a terrific season this year. I think what I'd rather turn the attention to is, and Femi, you played in the National Football League. How much of this next week is going to be whether a team can get up twice in a row to the extent they're going to need to get up next week? That to me is the most important thing facing this team now. They came way up tonight, played their game of the year. Can they play their best game of the year next Sunday?
I still, you know what's crazy, Stan, is that I've always thought that this team has not peaked yet. Like I've been thinking that, and the offense scored on 6 straight possessions tonight, I think, right?
Yeah.
And Jacksonville, to me, was a big monster to slay in Jacksonville, right? So they have the Rams game. You know what I mean? They come off the bye. First of all, they gifted the Rams, I think, 12 points, by the way, and they still won that game in overtime. And then they go to Jacksonville and they win that game. And it wasn't pretty a lot of the time, but you know what, though? They were gritty and they figured it out. This game, no one other than us thought they could win this game, right? And now they got to face Miami, who I think is wounded. I think Miami is not San Francisco. And they're going to come to Baltimore, but you know what? They're going to be confident. You know why? Because they were down by 21 in the fourth quarter a year ago, and they won. So they're going to feel real good about themselves. But you know what's going to happen? They're going to realize real quick that this Lamar and this defense are not the same Lamar and the same defense they played a year ago. That's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be tight early. But if the Ravens are who we think they are, honoring my favorite coach ever, Dennis Green.
Don't let them off the hook.
Don't let them off the hook. And we're not crowning Dolphins anytime soon. I promise you that. You know what I'm saying? You can crown them if you want to. I'm just kidding. But my point is that I think that this team is so well prepared. The coaches are so even keel. The leaders are so even keel. The only question is Kyle Hamilton going to be healthy?
Well, I've got good news for you, Femi. I have good news.
That's the only question. If Kyle's ready and they're ready, even without Kyle, I think they can win. But with Kyle, it makes it a lot easier. So Stan, I think they'll be ready, Stan.
from Jonas Schaefer of the Baltimore Sun. Asked about the injury to Kyle Hamilton, John Harbaugh said it, quote, doesn't look bad, unquote, for anyone. Quote, we're fairly optimistic about everyone, unquote. The other two guys that were banged up during the game were Kevin Zeitler and Patrick McCary. So, again, there's room in there, right? There's wiggle room. That doesn't guarantee that Kyle Hamilton is on the field next week. And as much as I know Ken's over there giggling, the one thing I will say is that typically when it has been known immediately, like they didn't come out last week when they knew Keaton Mitchell was done for the year and dance around it and say, you know, we think there's a chance that he's good. When they know it's that devastating, they just go ahead and say it. So
Yeah.
this isn't a guarantee of anything, but this is probably about the best thing that they could have said given what we were looking at late in the game with Kyle Hamilton sitting on the sideline and not returning from a knee injury. So again, the word
Glenn, what's the line you think next week? 3.5 Ravens?
sounds right to me, Stan. That sounds right.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think that's. I'm trying to check it with our friends at Superbook to see if they have a line up yet. As a reminder, you can use the code
Dolphins -5.
Dolphins. That's what you. Femi always. By the way, this is what we've learned about Femi. Femi always wants the Ravens to be massive. He wants this edge at all times.
They're going to be without. They're going to be without their running back, maybe, right? But definitely Waddle has a high
Waddle,
sprain, right?
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. I think it could be 4.5.
So
given those things,
unfortunately,
4.5's an odd number, though. I don't see it too often. So I'm thinking 3.5.
Yeah, unfortunately, Superbook does not have odds yet, and they're our partner. I will tell you that there is movement now. The Ravens are at plus 400 to win the Super Bowl. The 49ers are still the favorite, but that number has moved to plus 200 after it actually got as low as like plus 125. Use real quick. Let me finish this ad, and then I'm going to you, Josh. Use the code GlennClark23 or StanCharles23 when you sign up at Superbook.com or download the Superbook app, and you'll receive up to $250 in a same-day first bet match, win or lose. Yes, Josh.
Well, I just want to say this, and I love my uncle more than anybody, and I got nothing but respect for Ken. But I think this about John, and it's not just because I'm friends with John or anything like that. I think we only remember like these moments that are challenging. What about the moments where he made the right decision and had Lamar go for it in Seattle, you know, on 4th down at the goal line? I mean, there's a lot of things that I think people gloss over, and you're only remembering the things that maybe didn't go our way.
No, because they're so memorable. The things that, like the challenge that he did 3 weeks ago when it was there were 3 potential challenges in that game. He let the other 2 go, and he challenged
Stan, I agree that those were bad moments, but I'm saying like in the history of his career, you're talking about like a few moments. I'm talking about there's been some great moments too, and I think it's very easy to gloss over the good moments and only talk about the ones that didn't go his way. The ones where he went for it in Pittsburgh and didn't get it, I think was a great moment still, even against the Rams that year. I mean, he was aggressive that year. He knew how injured we were. He knew how banged up we were. I don't know. I think you guys are being a little hard on him, to be honest with you. But I don't think that's what this night is about. I think
Josh, I mean, I think that what I was trying to say a second ago is I think it's fair to beat up decisions that are poor. I think we all said the thing a couple weeks ago was insane. But I also feel like we don't.
But that's
go out
different
of our
than
way.
saying the decisions are poor historically. That's
I agree with that.
That's the only point I'm making.
Where I was trying to lead to was I don't think we do a good job of recognizing moments the other way. And like to me, and Femi, I appreciate what you're saying that at 5-0 you weren't worried at all, right? Like, and knowing you, I'm not surprised by that even remotely, right? Like just because of how I know you. But I think a lot of the rest of us were not quite as. I think there was a lot of nervousness in that moment,
but
right?
Glenn, the thing is, I grew up in that locker room.
I know.
I
get it. Right?
Play like a Raven is not just some bullshit. Like it's a real thing.
I completely understand that.
No, for sure. No. Yeah. Listen, I'm just trying to give you guys insight to the psyche of the player. You know what I mean, and how we feel about stuff. Like the way you guys. Like the way that Stan and KZ see things, like that's totally foreign to us. Like,
right.
And the point is that you can cherry pick, and this is the thing. They're not wrong micro analysis, but macro, it stands for itself. The Ravens have the 3rd best record in NFL history since their formation, and that's a Billick and that's a Harbaugh thing. Really,
I agree.
No one else matters. And my point is that like. people short Tesla. Like, why? People short Nvidia. Like, I'm a tech guy. Like, you're shorting stocks that just keep going up. Like, stop. You're going to lose. You're going to lose money. You know what I mean? And my point is that when you talk negatively about Coach Harbaugh in the macro, you're shorting a profitable stock. It does not make sense. Now, in the micro, of course, in the short term, we can all talk about decisions. And I did the same thing. I said, hey, that wasn't good. But at the end of the day, do I think that he shouldn't have his job? Are you out of your damn mind? Hell no. I would never say that. You know what I mean?
Femi, to me, what was happening in that moment was this is the defining thing about John Harbaugh. Is that in a situation where things go wrong for a lot of teams, in a situation where it can get away from you, where you're on the road, you've been out there for a holiday weekend, you've got guys seeing family, and in that moment when things aren't going right, we've had this bizarro world where it just feels like it's all going the wrong way. The reason why you weren't concerned at all is because of what we know about John Harbaugh, right? Because in that moment, there was no panic whatsoever. They just said, let's go back out on the field and go to work. And that, to me, is worthy of praise. It's the flip side.
I think we agree. But I think the reason I know it is different than the reason that you know it. Is my point.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's what I'm saying. And I think that, as I said, how many times in the Lamar Harbaugh era have they just not shown up? Like, I mean,
almost never. Yeah,
exactly. And the last game that I can think of where they really got their ass beat, they ended up winning 12 games in a row. It was Cleveland 2019 in Baltimore.
Yeah,
it was
got ran all over.
And they got ran over. But guess what? They didn't lose a game until they lost to Tennessee here after being the number 1 seed. Like that was the last time. And I'm not saying that they haven't lost since. And yeah, they've lost, but I can see why. Like 0 blitz against Miami in that weather, running Greg Roman's offense, which is not very great for 0 blitz. Like, it's a run heavy offense, right? And what I'm saying right now, or what I'm seeing right now, is that Coach Monken, and think about this. Think about the penalties that the Ravens had on offense tonight that killed some pretty big plays. You know what I mean? And they overcame the safety. They overcame penalties. They just found a way. Yeah, they just found a way to get shit done. And they do it in a way that is unwavering. It's completely based on self-belief and a culture. And I know this culture and I see it in these guys, and it's been passed down since 1999. I'm telling you the truth. 1999 is when the Ravens became the Ravens, not 98, not 97. No, 99. I can, and if you want to go through a diatribe of why, I'll go through that another time. I don't want to go through a history lesson right now, but we've been who we were ever since 1999. The players come and go, but the psyche, the culture, because it's been handed down from Ozzie and those other guys, and through Eric. Eric was a scout when I was playing, and those guys are like leading the way now. And Ozzie's still available, and it's just amazing to me that I can look at this team and I can be a little bit of a distance away. Like I'm out in the locker room and I kind of know what's going to happen because of my experience through my brother and myself. I'm just super excited about what this team can do this year. And it's still unwritten. And next week is going to be next week. But let's enjoy this week, though. I think that was Josh's point. I think that was Stan's point. I think that was KZ's point. I think everybody kind of said that. And we're finding reasons to have arguments about stuff right now.
No, stop.
That's the only other thing. Go before you go.
Really, KZ, you was going to say something nice.
I've said nothing but nice since I got on here.
I want you to give credit. I don't think it's asking for a lot for you to
praise. Oh my God.
Instead of just saying,
not giving him credit.
Stop. Andrew Stanko wanted to get in. Now he's pouring down a beer because he told me he's been drinking all day. Yeah, go ahead.
It's been a day, my friend. Look, I want to kind of turn this from you guys have been having a conversation about Harbaugh, and that's great. I want to turn this a little bit more to Lamar for a second because Femi said something earlier about his decisions to run and how we haven't seen as much of that. And I wonder, and this is probably going to be red meat for Femi, so I want to let him jump on it, but there's going to be a narrative after this game, obviously. And I hate this whole MVP conversation. I have to be completely honest. It's annoying me. Yeah. I want to watch the teams play. I want to see who the best team is. The MVP conversation for me has gotten it wasn't even on like a third or fourth rail. It's gotten off of a fifth rail at this point somehow
Yep.
and gone down a track that I'm tired of it. The national narrative is annoying. Sure, Lamar is going to be the favorite after this game. Does that matter? I don't care about any of it. Regardless, the Ravens won a game tonight in which they won the turnover battle by 5. As many penalties as they had, they still have as nearly as many as the Niners did. Like, a lot of things went their way in this game, but the one thing that went their way in this game that it wasn't going early when they were down 5-0 and Lamar looked a little bit off target. All of a sudden, he started finding those running lanes again. And Femi mentioned it earlier. He hasn't been running as much this season, but I think that it's what I've seen from him. And this is just, a fan watching the game. I'm not seeing the all 22, but it looks to me like he has more trust in the pieces around him than ever. And he's sitting back because he knows he can make a play with his arm that has a potential to be a chunk 25, 30, 40, 50-yard play rather than a 10, 15-yard scramble on his own. And to me, that's the part where when I'm thinking who is the most irreplaceable player on any team, he has grown so much with the pieces that they've put around him. Odell, Zay, even Bateman, as much as we struggle with some of the drop passes and stuff like that, but the pieces around him as a unit have been so much better than they have in years past. And that's where I have seen him take this step up. And again, MVP talk regardless, he was such an important part of that win tonight, not just because of everything San Francisco gave them, but because everything he took from them with his legs and with his arm. And I wonder, Femi, if there's anything to that familiarity piece and the increase of the level of the players around him.
Yeah, Andrew, I think
Well
you're saying
said,
what I
Andrew.
said, like really early on when I got on, right? I said that Lamar could take off, but he knows that his 10-yard run is not going to be as good as these touchdowns and these chunk plays that he gets, right? Like, it's calculated. It's not on accident. And like I said, it hit me like a brick today. I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, he is really so, his self-belief in his ability to find an open receiver is so off the chart right now. Like, it's not on accident. Like, for some part of me thought that, okay, he can run and get 7 yards, or he can buy his time and get 30. And I didn't make that real direct connection and accept it maybe until like today. I'm not even sure. Like, it just kind of hit me in the head that, like, oh, this dude is really, he sees the run lane. He sees what I see. But he sees something more.
And you know what's wild? When you can get Zay Flowers with the game he had, like when you can get a reliable piece like that, it makes all the difference.
The Rams touchdown pass, right? Because that could have been a 10-yard run, or it could be a touchdown. Like that. Listen, that pass to Zay Flowers. Let me tell you this. I know someone that was talking to Coach McVay. Coach McVay has that play circled as the best play of the year. The touchdown to Zay against the Rams, right? In that window, right? That window where Aguilar pulled the corner and the safety a little bit, right? And he threw that laser to Zay. Like, the old Lamar never has time to make that play. He probably gets tackled on the 5-yard line, but it's not a touchdown. This Lamar gets the touchdown, and when we need 30, he goes and gets that too. And Andrew, I think you and I are seeing it the exact same way, and this is why he's the MVP. Every single statistic is better other than his total touchdowns. But the thing is, everyone else has more touchdowns, though. So if you look at the total scoring, I bet you the total scoring is higher this year than 2019 because everyone else is contributing because Lamar says it's not about me. Hey, you get this, Aguilar. You get this, Zay. You get this, Mitchell. You get this, Andrews. You get this, Likely. You get this, Odell. Let me give it to you guys. And that's what Lamar's doing. So that's why I love what he's doing. That's why I think that the future is so bright. And if you guys got a chance to hear Steve Young on the vault with Bobby and Sarah Ellison, dude, oh my God. Yeah. Steve Young dialed it up and he was on point. And I think that was an amazing interview. And Steve Young says that Lamar can be the best to ever do it. And he breaks down why. He's been saying it for a long time. But I thought Lamar, once again, tonight, put it on display.
So
I want to add.
Yeah, go ahead,
I'm
Reeta.
sorry. Let me add to that too. I agree with everything that both Andrew and Femi said. I think another thing that I struggle with, I think in 2022 that he's done better with in 2023 is, the check down, because the check down to Gus that turned to a 30-yard gain, That's something that probably in years past, he's still trying to look down the field to try to get the home run. But in this position, he's like, I got to take what this defense is giving me. And he did that. And the middle of the field was really open for a lot of part of the game. And so allowing Gus to make that play is, to me, a newer version of Lamar that we've not seen consistently before. And I think once he is comfortable with the checkdowns, like real comfortable, then I think it's a real problem. I think
Rita, he made the exact same play against Detroit. Remember that long play that Gus had against Detroit? It was the exact same play, exact same check down.
So Rita and I have talked about checkdowns a lot the last couple of seasons. We agree. We've also talked about, I say this and it sounds disrespectful, or it sounds like the fact that Nelson Aguilar is the greatest fourth wide receiver in Ravens history, right? Which doesn't sound like a lot of a compliment. But when I say it, what I'm really saying is it's so effing nice to have had,
I love Nelson, dude. I love him, dude.
This much depth. And I don't think any of us were all that worked up about the signing of Nelson Aguilar. I think we were mostly like, oh, okay, sure, right? But the idea that he can be here and be this team's fourth wide receiver and just be another option on top of all of the other options that you have, he's been a godsend for this football team in that role, right? Is just being reliable. He's gotten rid of the drop problems that obviously he had in Philadelphia. We have not seen that carry over here in Baltimore. It's so insane that Nelson Aguilar has been the fourth receiver on this team. And I guess, this was his touchdown, obviously, tonight. He has offered so much in that department, but just in general, finally having depth in the pass catching department has made such a crazy difference for this team. Stan, you wanted to get in. No, Stan, they got to get you to unmute when you hop back in.
That's what happens when they're old dudes. You let the old dudes
get it.
Zoom. They don't know. They don't know about the unmute.
Don't do my guy Stan like that.
No, I'm including myself in it.
It doesn't show up. One of the things we haven't talked about at all tonight, and maybe you've talked about it before, one of the most frustrating things in watching Lamar in the Greg Roman offense the last few years was how you have a player that plays at such a fast pace and everything was slow. In other words, Lamar would get to the line with 5 seconds. There was no speed and haste and let's move the pace up. Sometimes in baseball, you want your pitcher to work fast. And I'd say that that's one of the most under talked about things with Lamar this year is I don't recall ever once feeling like, come on, Lamar, get to the line so you can get the playoff. And that's not happened this year. He's so much more confident with the players he has. He's so much more confident in the Todd Monken offense. And I'll leave it open to the floor.
All right. So I strongly agree, firmly agree. It's been a pleasant part of this offense is that they have not been dragging out. We saw it a couple times tonight when they hadn't decided what they were going to do, right? When they hadn't decided if they were going to kick the field goal when they were down at the 1 yard line. But in that situation, they just said, it's fine. We'll just go ahead and take the penalty. It's no big deal.
That was the right call, by the way. I'm like the first time when they went for it on fourth down, I was good with it. But this time I was like, dude, get the points. Now, you can't just go pedal to the metal all the time. You gotta be nuanced. And I think that in-game stuff is what Stan and KZ have issues with in the past, right? Because in the past, maybe Coach Harbaugh would be like, we're going for it. And sometimes it didn't work out for us. But you know what, though? I think that this is the thing. Coach Harbaugh, as great as he is, a future Hall of Famer, he's still learning. He's still evolving. And the minute you stop learning and the minute you stop evolving is when you're freaking done. I almost said worse than that. I caught myself.
Well, Femi, you're not a baseball guy.
I'm a baseball guy. I played baseball my whole life.
Earl Weaver's book said it's what you learn. The title of the book was it's what you learn after you know it all that counts.
Stan, you not even go to batting cages, Stan. You can see how I swing that bat, Stan. We can go.
But I think that's also I think that is something about John that he has evolved as a coach. Just he's had to, and it's been an amazing thing to watch. I also think, and this is a question for Fem, also just who had played in the league. Every time I watch these games, particularly these big games on national TV, the opposing defensive players, the amount of respect that they have with Lamar, the dapping that's going on in the game, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I know I watched Michael Vick. I've never seen any other player get that level of respect. And that speaks volumes. When you talk about all-pro MVP, the guys on the other team in the middle of a play, in the middle when the game's still on the line, is like they're looking at him and everybody's just like, there's such in awe of his talent and his just insane talent. And we are so lucky to have him, man. And I think with him, this offense and this defense, the defense is going to be the difference this year. I'm telling you, come playoff time, this defense played old school tonight. I mean, they've been playing lights out
Josh,
all year, but they just balled, man.
Hey, Josh, you know what, Josh? You know what's crazy, dude? You really highlighted something that we see every game. Like, remember against Jacksonville when Lamar made that throw to Likely and the lineman, he held his head and he's like, "You just did it to me again." And Lamar started laughing at him and they're dabbing each other up. Like, you're right, dude. Like, most of the time, it's like anger, it's like fire, spit, and venom. It's never. But with Lamar, guys are helping him up. They're like, okay, and Lamar.
That's what I'm saying. It's different.
Like Lamar knows how to like be like, all right, dude, cool. Like, yeah, all right, see, and I'm gonna get you in a minute. Like, it's crazy, right? Because
I'm gonna get you in a minute.
Like Lamar, and this is the thing. Like I said, I'm from the Bay Area, right? So like I have a pretty good pulse of like there's Ravens bars in San Diego, there's Ravens bars in the Bay Area, which is wild to think about. There's a place called the West Wing in LA. All Ravens, hundreds of people, dude. It's wild, right? So the Ravens have a mystique about them, and they travel. And it was Ray Lewis, it was Ed Reed, right? And then it was Sizzle, and it's Lamar now. Everyone loves Lamar. Lamar is and when Lamar first came into the league, I was like, this dude's like Michael Jordan. Like, he really is. Like, that's how revolutionary his game is. And I know that's blasphemy for some people, and take it how you want to take it. But at the end of the day, Lamar was a unanimous MVP, the first person to ever do it. Now, he needs to win a couple rings, I think. And
second,
I think he's
right? Didn't Brady did it too, right? He's a second.
I think Brady was a second, but I think Lamar did it first, though, I think.
Oh, he did before?
I think so. I think Brady did it after Lamar. But maybe
Brady was 2010. So yeah, it was Brady first, then Lamar.
No, but unanimous though?
Yeah. Brady was unanimous in 2010. Yep.
Who's our fact checker here? Who's in the fact checker?
Randy's gonna. I know Randy. He's already checked in a couple times. So I got Randy Morgan. I'll double check.
Okay, it doesn't matter. They both were unanimous MVPs. But my point is, at the end of the day, though, is that when the players look at you as a rock star, that's a whole different thing, right? Which is wild. So, Josh, I just wanted to piggyback on that because that's how the players.
I'm telling you, that's the thing, man. For a while, it was like, where are our rock stars? And we got multitude rock stars on this team right now, and Lamar is the top. And just seeing that level of respect, it's such a cool thing to see that on a field in the middle of like intense competition. Femi, I mean, you're out there playing. You know how hard these guys are going at it.
You know what's crazy, Josh?
Right in the middle of it, they're just looking and
but you know what's crazy?
In that moment.
When we're on the field, it's like kind of like when someone comes to visit me at the hotel. It's like, this is what I do. I'm not tripping. I'm not uneasy. Like, I'm not like sitting there like no, I'm chilling. Like, when it's game time, I'll be tense. But in between plays, guys talk, guys chat. Like, we're so used to the intensity. Like, we don't feel the cameras. We don't feel what people at home feel. I feel it now as a fan. I've been retired since 2010. But like, as a player, nothing could phase me. Like, it didn't matter. I could talk to you about anything. Talk to you about the steak I made in between plays. It does not matter. But I mean, I'm not saying it's appropriate, but I'm saying like we know how to tap in and lock in when we need to, and that can be like micro tapping in from end of play to the next play, or it can be off season. Like, it's just really odd as athletes. Like, the type of pressure that we live with, we're just used to it. Like, we don't trip out. It's nothing to us. So when someone comes to us or says something to us, we just take it in stride and we still go out and do our job. It's really not that big of a deal. And Josh, as an actor, right? Like, you're going to learn your lines, you're going to learn your role, but like, I'm sure in between takes or in between stuff, like, you're just yourself. You're just who you are. Like, you're not walking on eggshells. And I'm telling you right now, players do not walk on eggshells. Like, we're where we are for a reason. You are where you are for a reason. So nothing fixed that, man. It's confidence. It's been earned over time. You know what I'm saying?
The thing I'm concerned about the team is, and this part of why the Florio thing, all EAD jokes aside, but was just so odd, is that this team in their 3 losses, they have not gotten their butt kicked once this year. Not once. And you can't say that about any other team in the league, not even San Francisco, right? I mean, have been beaten, like maybe they didn't have the butts kicked, but they were beaten soundly a couple games or close enough where it wasn't just like someone won in a nail biter. And we haven't. So for someone to say like you're going to get your ass kicked, and now I think here we are after this game, we as fans, just like you said, the Ravens love to be the dog. The fans are used to having a chip in their shoulder in Baltimore, right? And now we're going to have to deal with this whole week now. We just dethrone the nation's, heralded team that was the team that's everybody just said. And so here we go. Now we're going to have to deal with that and have to deal with all the MVP talk. Like Andrew, I agree. The beauty of Lamar is I don't think Lamar gives a crap about it either.
And he said as much.
A Super Bowl ring. He wants to win a Super Bowl ring.
He did. He brought that up post game, Josh. He did.
That's
he said
Giants,
something.
yeah.
So hang on.
John's. Go ahead.
You bring up and Reeta obviously wanted to get after Mike Florio. Now look, me personally, I do not care about this stuff. It's not for me, but it works because Carson's got it. After the game, Lamar had something to say about Mike Florio. Lamar was interested. Yeah, Lamar was interested. Hopefully we got the volume on this. We can share what it is that Lamar had to say. Oh, man. Carson, can you bring the volume up? All right, we might not be able to do that. Damn, that's a shame. All right. We'll see if we can't get that fixed. So Lamar went after. It's a
Did you guys not hear that? Oh, hold on. Let me see if I unmute myself. Let me see if it works. I'm sorry.
All right, I apologize. All right, we'll try one more.
Let me
try it one more time. Went off for a full minute.
Oh, I love this. I gotta hear this. Oh, come on.
Oh. All right, that's a shame. That's a shame. We'll work the kinks out before the next time we attempt to do this. It's what it is. We're trying to do something for the first time tonight. So Lamar went off. We'll find the video, and you can see it if you just search for Lamar Jackson right now. Like, he went off on Mike Florio in his postgame. So there's that. Yes.
Glenn, if we all couldn't like Lamar more,
yeah.
I mean, because if there's anybody I can't stand, it's Florio, because he's just annoying as all hell.
He's a dickhead, dude. He's just a dickhead, dude. Straight up.
Just beyond. And for Lamar to handle it that way, it's like I just loved it. I just loved it.
Hang on. I'm gonna attempt to play the audio, and you guys just nod if you hear me playing the audio. All right, just say, hang on a second.
I'm not hearing anything.
No, nothing.
All right, that's a shame. That's a shame. We tried it.
KZ,
does Mike Florio have a handle, or is it just
can you say what he said?
Pro football.
I'm not.
Mike Florio said that the Niners would dismantle the Ravens by double digits. That's what Mike Florio said.
I'm sorry. I meant what Lamar said about him.
Yeah.
I saw Florio's thing about that. Yeah.
To just paraphrase it, it pissed him off.
Okay. All right.
It's worth seeking out, and I don't know.
Hey, but
you have
by the
to
way,
hear it, but let's just say it pissed him off.
For the record, Glenn, in case Mike Florio sees this, EAD to him. But I love Chris Sims though. I love Chris Sims.
That's your guy. That's your guy.
He keeps it real, dude. Yeah. He keeps it real. I love Chris Sims. Chris is measured. Mike is emotional. His little dumbass shit about him being an attorney, I don't give a fuck about that. His attorney shit, you throw that shit out the window. He's an asshole, dude. He constantly talks negatively about the Ravens, dude. I don't know why, but he does all the time.
Well, he's already mad because of the stuff that he had talked about earlier. He was on the Lamar thing with the whole contract situation. So there's that. Chris Sims actually, and I'll never forget this, when he was evaluating the quarterbacks in the 2018 draft, he said Lamar Jackson was actually the best quarterback coming out of that draft.
You're 100% correct.
He caught a lot of flack about that. And so, like, while I always don't necessarily agree with Chris Sims, I do think from, like, a film and scouting perspective, more times than not, he gets it right.
Oh,
yeah.
He's one of the best. Absolutely one of the best. Hands down, one of the best. He keeps it even keel. He keeps it real. And the thing I love about Chris is that he will own his mistake and he will change his mind and say, you know what, I got that wrong. That's what I love about Chris Sims.
Not hard. It's not hard to just say, hey, man, I was wrong about that one. Carson,
Yep,
do you
I
have
agree.
one play we didn't talk about at all that I thought deserved way more credit than it got? Was on the Ravens' final drive of the first half. And everybody remembers it was sort of the sidearm off the scamper as Lamar's going to his left. He throws back across his body to Isaiah Likely. But the part of it that I think deserves more credit is Isaiah Likely, that ball's low, and he goes and he pins it against his leg to make sure that the ground does not get involved with the play whatsoever as he tries to make the catch. It's it's such a small thing, and I hope they've got the angle of this. This is the play. See, he pins it right against his thigh as he's going towards the ground before he has full control of the ball. Make sure that that ball doesn't touch the ground so the officials can go back and say the ground broke that up and was involved in the catch. It's such a small thing, but was he talk about the depth? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we had Keaton Mitchell? Can you imagine if Keaton Mitchell was out there tonight? Can you imagine if Mark Andrews was out? Like, these people don't know. Like, they need to stop watching The Wire and you know what I mean? Like, 'cause every time we talk about Baltimore, they want to talk about The Wire. They do every time. I'm like, stop. Like, stop. Like, that's a TV show. In real life, come to Baltimore. Come hang out. I promise you, it's a beautiful place. You'll have a great time, and you'll be safe. It's going to be okay. I promise you. And come watch this team play in person. Come to the bank and see what we do, and walk down Ravens Walk. Hear the live band. See the people doing their little steps and all their little moves and stuff. It's an experience. And I'm so honored. Like, I just feel so blessed to be part of this culture, to like come up in it as an athlete and to be raised in it, to watch what they're doing now as a grown up, you know what I mean? To raise my kids in it, to watch my brother do it. Like, you guys have no idea how much this game means to me, because I grew up in the Bay and I had to listen to all these people talk and listen and tell me Purdy this, that. I'm like, you guys have. And the thing is, I kept it quiet, and you guys know how hard it is for me to be quiet, right? So I had to tell them, like, you guys do not know what you're about to be in for right now. It's about to get you. The tsunami is coming, and it's going to be led by number 8, guaranteed.
I was telling Glenn, Femi, to get me pumped up for the game, I was watching Bullies of Baltimore the other day. And seeing our man there in the Titans locker room after the game was bringing me all kinds of feels.
F the Titans.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to add to something, y'all, real quick. Levi Stadium is dusty. Okay. They got somebody warned me. Somebody that actually works in the Bay Area for sports told me that the stadium was going to be underwhelming, and they did not lie. It is very Heinz Fieldish. What you laughing at, Josh? What happened?
I love you, man. You just
okay.
Dusty.
So you laughing at me?
Dusty.
Okay.
Come on, it's so
dusty.
good.
For this to be a newer stadium, it is not up to par. It has one speaker. They on the one of the east or west wing. The game day experience is not good. It's very boring. I was very bored. So for a team that has all this prestige, they definitely did not bring it. M&T Bank Stadium, we take things for granted, and the Ravens have one of the best game day experiences in the National Football League. I've been to numerous stadiums. This is probably 18 at this point that I've been to, and the one that I can probably say was one of my favorites was Allegiant, but outside of that, even SoFi wasn't a good. Levi is a dump. And I just wanted everybody to know that. I wanted everybody to know
at least
that the experience
they got a lot
great.
of space out there for, redevelopment and a public-private partnership.
Cool.
They can do all that. Good for them.
Look, hey man, they need to get some state funds too, like the Ravens, and upgrade something, because at the end of the day, I was very underwhelmed by my game day experience here. And I expected more from a team that has 5 Super Bowl wins. I just want everybody to know that.
Santa Clara Crossing is going to look great with all that space they've got out there. Carson raised his hand.
They need to do that now. Go ahead.
Yeah, right.
Rita, I'm laughing because I love you. You did dusty thing to stop me. It's a perfect description of it. It looks kind of dusty and like
it is very dusty.
It looks boring. It looks boring.
It is very Heinz Fieldish. If you ever been to Heinz Field, it's literally the same setup. I
haven't been there. I wanted to go to Heinz Field.
Heinz Field has had the same DJ since like 1972, playing the exact same songs too. It's so weird. Carson, what'd you want to get in with?
Real quick, our buddy AJ has been pretty active in the Facebook comments, and he wanted to know, he said, "Would y'all rather have us get the 1 seed and get the bye, or he worded it, get the 2 seed and stay sharp?"
Stop.
Really?
It's the 1 seed.
Reeta,
man.
this
Why?
is
Ask that
I'm
question.
over that.
No
Wait,
matter
hold
what
on. No.
Rita says,
Let
it's
me.
one.
No. Wait. Hold on. Let me get in here. Who asked that question?
AJ.
Not me.
Tell AJ, don't ask dumbass questions.
Yes. Thank you.
You want the freaking buy, bro. Like, it's like I said it last week. I'm going to give you $100. You can fight me for $100. Well, you want I'll take the 100. I don't have to fight. Done. Okay, cool. Thank you. Like, what are we doing
Let's
here?
go.
No, listen, if you can't win out of the 2019, let that shit go. That has nothing to do with this team. This team is not that team. And all these people talking about, oh, well, I don't want to be the number 1 seed. The same people that think that the earth is flat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, stop being dumb. Shit. Pissing me off.
I can't do that better. I can't
Nothing
do
better.
that better. I can't do it better at all. Also, as we saw at the end of the game, again, Kyle Hamilton went down at the end of this game when it was somewhat lopsided at that point. Kyle Hamilton got hurt. That's one less opportunity for a football player to get hurt.
No. The game was not over when he got hurt. The game
wasn't over. It wasn't over, but it was the score.
He needed to be out there. No, stop that.
I'm not saying he shouldn't have been out there. I'm saying I don't want guys getting hurt. That's all I'm saying.
Well, the way you framed it, you made it sound like it was the end of the game. And
I'm saying even if you think that game, that first week, is against a team that you are far better than, that's an opportunity for any player on that field to get hurt. And I don't want those guys getting hurt.
I got you.
Yeah,
Glenn's
point was it was lopsided when he went out, and then it wasn't.
All of a sudden,
then it turned to not be. So being rested is.
The point is, if someone's going to give you something, why would you say no to that? No, I want to fight. No, I want to fight because that's what football is. It's a fight, right? So if someone's going to say, hey, you can go to the next round and not have to fight, I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, fine. Yeah, I'll take that. Why would I want to fight? I'm going to get beat up. I could get hurt. You know what I mean? Yeah, I could win. I could knock the dude out. And yeah, I could maybe feel good and go into the next fight feeling good because I won the last fight. Stop it. It just does not make sense.
Hey, speaking of Kyle Hamilton, Carson, do you have the play where he got knocked down and came back to get the interception? Because I just feel like we should.
That was amazing, right?
Amazing. God,
you want to have an MVP discussion,
right?
Defensive player of the year, DPOY.
Yep.
DPOY
for sure. Yep.
Just an absolutely insane play. Like, you just can't believe. Wait, that really just happened? And Kyle Hamilton has made a season of doing did that really just happen types of things. Yep. But in particular on that one where he's down on the ground. Yeah, this is the one, right? This is bonkers.
Yep, he gets knocked down. Lyman lays on him. He gets up. Right here. He gets up, tracks the ball, and it finds him.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just so patently absurd, man. Kyle Hamilton with that play. That is bonkers, man. Hey, we're winding down. I want to make sure that I give a shout out to AJ Michaels. What company has the expertise to make your home healthier and by purifying your air and killing all viruses, allergens, and bacteria? It's AJ Michaels, Heating and Air Conditioning in Baltimore and Annapolis, ajmichaels.com. This has been fun. You know what? Our guy Troy's been hanging on all night and was screaming his face off earlier. Troy, are you still there with us? Because if you are, I'm going to get you in. Oh, I don't think Troy might have walked away. I apologize, buddy. If you come back, I will. Stan, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, man.
My pleasure.
Appreciate you hopping in with us.
I always learn something when I listen to Femi Ayanbadejo.
So that means you have to come back more, Stan. We have two more games for the playoffs. You got to come back.
Yes,
right,
Stan.
Stan. Hey, Stan, real quick. Hey, Glenn.
Yeah, Femi, go ahead, bud.
Can I tell Stan? Hey, Stan, it's good to see you, brother. It's been a long time since I've seen you. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
We will be together. Reeta and I had the idea to try to get everybody together next Sunday, and because they didn't flex the game, I still think it might be possible, but we're going to try to pull it off in a short amount of time. Everybody can join us. We're going to work on that in the next 24 to 48 hours, see if that might be something that we can do for the game on Sunday. We will be back together next Sunday, and KZ and I will fight, and that's the way that it'll go, because that's what a loving family does around the holidays.
It's all good.
That's the way it works. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. It was a very Merry Christmas, obviously, for everybody in Baltimore.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, guys. We will see you next Sunday.